Hello everybody! It's time to open up a new empty page from our journals and start planning for October. I will share my whole monthly setup in this video, which is featuring Mr. Cat. Yeah, he's back for this one. But before we start with October, let's flip through my September pages so you can see how everything turned out. I think my September layout was really efficient and it kind of did what I wanted it to do, but I have to say that I do need a change from the pink doodles, so that's why my October setup will be really neutral and simple. But yeah, that's that, so now we can finally move on to the next month. I will start from my cover page as usual, and this time I'm drawing this cute little mouse who has managed to climb to this wheat crop. I decided that my theme for October would be field, and I wanted to try out more minimalistic style as well, or at least that's what I attempted. So I will have some wildflowers or hay drawings on my pages, and for the accent color this month I chose this light brown kind of sand Tombow brush pen. And I was thinking to make a whole separate video about this mouse drawing and maybe some other field plants as well. So in that video I would go through everything slower because it would take a little bit too much time in this video to explain everything I'm doing here in depth. So I hope that would be something you'd be interested to see. That video will probably be out in a week or so. And after finishing the cover page, I moved on to the next one, which will be for my monthly overview. And I actually decided to try out a bigger monthly calendar this time. If you've seen my other videos, you know I usually don't like a big calendar here, but I just felt like giving it another chance this time. I realized that my way of using my bullet journal has changed a little bit. Before I always did all my weekly pages on one go, which meant that I didn't really have a purpose for a monthly calendar. But now I usually set up only 1 week at a time, and that's why I also use my monthly page more. So yeah, giving the big monthly calendar another chance. And the calendar I'm drawing here is very simple with the October written on top. And then next to the calendar I started to draw these simple hay drawings. I don't know what plant this is in English, but anyways, these are actually super easy to draw and the result looks really nice and clean in my opinion. I did 2 of these with only using my black microns and I focused on the details a bit more. And I tried to give an illusion that these 2 would be closer in the front, and then I drew 2 more to the background. And these I drew first with my brown accent color, and after that I darkened only some details with my black pen. I didn't draw all the stems to these 2 to kind of make them look like they are a little bit further away and not seen as clearly, if that makes any sense. I don't know, I feel like my explanations are all over the place today. But yeah, I like how this page turned out, though it's super simple, but this is exactly the minimalistic style I was kind of going for this month, so that's why I was super happy about this. Then let's turn the new page, and this one will be for a new version of my focus page. And I named this action steps. Pretty self-explanatory, but here I will first write some sort of goal for myself for October. So something I want to get done or start doing more or improve. And then I'll just write some bigger or smaller steps I can take to get closer to that goal. And I wanted to do this because for me it's really easy to just plan something but not really know how I can actually make it happen. And there are some things I want to start doing more, some things I kind of have pushed to the side for one reason or another, and I just really want to start doing more instead of just planning it. And I hope this page will help me to change my mindset a little bit about that, and also make me realize all those small steps I need to do to achieve something. And I hope this would be a good idea for you as well if you are struggling with similar problems. But yeah, I continued my field theme on this page as well, and I drew this very simple wheat crop with some probably not realistic leaves, but I thought it looked kind of cool again, and I was going for that slightly minimalistic style here as well. The next page will be for my habit tracker, and this is actually exactly the same one I did last month. It worked well for me, so I didn't want to change it. And what makes this different for me from a normal habit tracker is that I'm actually not marking the habits by a certain day of the month anymore. I'm calculating how many times I did a certain habit, and I will use my brush pen to mark a kind of goal amount of days I want to do each of these habits this month. And I have realized that this way it motivates me more than just by marking the habits by days, because it makes the whole thing a little bit more goal oriented, which is always a perfect way for me to go. Then the next spread is actually something I don't know how I'm gonna set up quite yet. And before we get to that, we have a cat attack. He decided that it was time for him to get some attention. Also, I think he was annoyed because I stole the chair he likes to sleep the most. So yeah, I gave Mr. Cat his chair back, and then we can continue again. So in October, I'm actually going to Japan, and I want to dedicate this whole spread for my travel log from that trip. Maybe I will write down some highlights or memories, maybe do a packing list or something like that. But for now, I'm just gonna leave this empty and think about it a little bit later. And in my next monthly plan with me video, you will see how it turned out. And I will probably update you also in the bullet journal Amino and or my Instagram. So yeah, not much to say about this, so let's move on. Last month I had the accomplishments page, which I actually kind of liked. It was a really nice and positive thing in my spread. And in October I decided to take that idea even further, and I set up this daily positivity page. So hopefully every day something positive happens in my life that I can write down here, and then I'll have this super nice positive page I can look at if I'm feeling a little bit down or something. I will most likely write my accomplishments here as well, and I really hope I will keep up with this month. And then if you've been here for the past months, you know I have to set up my ideas page, which will be just an empty page for any random ideas I might want to write down. I actually have a separate journal now for my morning diary that I try to write every day, but still sometimes ideas just pop up in my mind in the middle of the day, so I want to have a place to put them down in my bullet journal as well. And on this page I drew this wildflower. I guess this is called baby's breath in English, but I might be terribly wrong about that. It's also very simple to draw if you take it step by step. I'm not being too careful here either. This turned out more like a kind of messy sketch style. And also I just want to say that don't be afraid to look at real photos of these flowers and mimic the structure of the flower from those. There's nothing wrong with that. You don't have to be able to draw these things just out from your imagination. It's always a good idea to look at real life reference, and it usually makes drawing a lot easier. So I just wanted to say that in case someone is wondering if I use some reference for these drawings or not. I basically always look real photos before drawing anything. And yeah, that's it for that spread. And now we can move on to my first weekly page of October. Last month I tried the time blocking thing, and I kind of liked the idea. But the way I set it up last month didn't really give me any space to do any kind of daily to-do list. And I know it's kind of the point of time blocking to not have a to-do list, but I realized that I'm just so used to my daily task lists that I started to miss being able to just cross things off from my list. So this month I'm setting up this super simple looking weekly page, which will be entirely for the functionality purposes. So now I'm trying to set the time horizontally, so I would be still able to write down a task list under it. And then I can just mark the time from everything on the timeline. So I'm trying to combine these two things somehow and see if I like this style more or if I still have to come up with something else. But yeah, nothing that exciting here. I know these pages will be filled up with everything later on, so I like to leave them pretty empty and simple. Then it's time for the last spread of October. So I'm flipping through the pages which will be for my other weeklies, and then I will set up my October review page. So every month I want to have some small goals for my Japanese studying to keep myself focused on that. Then I will have some goals for my hobbies and other stuff as well. I don't know how much I will need these goals, to be honest, because I already had the action step page, but I will probably change something or figure things out in the next layout if this doesn't work out. Then on the next page I will have my 15th check-in box. So here in the middle of the month I can write how I'm doing, if there's something I've kind of forgotten or ignored on purpose, and how I could improve those things. Then in the end of October, I will have these what I succeeded in and what I should improve questions that I can fill in before moving to the next month. But yeah, that's all for my October setup. I like the simplicity of this month and I kind of needed something more neutral after a whole month of lace and pastel pink doodles. And I would like to know what you think about minimalistic style. Is it something you've tried in your journals, or is it maybe too boring for you? I would actually love to know some of your bullet journaling styles and techniques. So if you have time to share those things, I would love to read your comments about that in the comment section below. But yeah, I think that's finally it. Thank you so much for watching this video. Special thanks to Mr. Cat for being so active in this one. And if you did enjoy or got some new ideas from this video, please consider subscribing to this channel so you will be updated from my next bullet journaling videos as well. But that's that. I hope you guys have a wonderful day or night wherever you are, and see you in my next one. Bye bye.